Behind the majestic beauty of the snow-covered mountains, a growing threat has been silently taking shape. Packs of wild boars are destroying crops and endangering the safety of local residents. Today, I'm taking you inside a hard-fought control operation. There is no room for mistakes, no room for hesitation. Are you ready to join us in reclaiming peace for this land? "6 a.m. The temperature outside is just 15 degrees Fahrenheit. Our wildlife management team from Texas has been urgently deployed to the Wasatch Range in Utah. More than 12 inches of snow and steep slopes are draining every ounce of energy from the team. This mission is crystal clear: track down and control the wild boar population that is growing out of control, protecting the local community and ecosystem before spring arrives. The wind cuts through us in freezing bursts, slipping through every layer of protective gear. In the distance, one heavy boar struggles to climb a slope angled nearly 40 degrees. The deep snow forces it upward only to drag it sliding back down again. Its strength seems nearly gone after days without enough food. Step by step, it drags itself forward. A sharp crack suddenly tears through the silence. The animal collapses onto the white sea. The first target has been neutralized, opening what would become a brutal day of work. 7:30 a.m. The cold is so intense it feels like it could numb every sense. On an exposed hillside, a line of boars charges across the snow-covered ground. Distance: 260 yards, a true test. Alex lies motionless, eyes locked to the scope. He adjusts his breathing to the stride of the lead animal. One clean pull of the trigger. The boar drops instantly. Without its leader, the herd panics and runs straight toward the valley, where our teammates are already waiting in ambush, exactly as planned. The pressure is mounting. Our working dogs, equipped with GPS tracking devices, are pushing at full force, driving the herd down from the ridge. I stand on a raised mound, heart pounding with every urgent bark coming through the radio. The targets are getting close. I focus completely, feeling the ground tremble beneath my boots. The moment the herd crosses the opening, a sharp activation rings out. One is forced down into the snow. The rest erupt in panic, accelerating straight into a dense patch of dead timber ahead. We immediately follow the tracks. Moving through knee-deep snow drains the legs fast, but our concentration cannot break. From a cliff overlooking the valley, we spot a boar lying down at a distance of 400 yards. It believes the dry brush can hide it. We steady our minds into complete silence. A light click breaks the stillness, and the distant target is brought under control. At an open position near the forest edge, David takes the high ground. Hearing the radio call and the relentless barking of the dogs, he knows exactly what is coming. A massive boar bursts out of the trees, charging across the trail. He acts instantly. For a moment, its speed looks like enough to save it, but the teammate covering the opposite hillside reacts in time. Through tight teamwork and perfect coordination, another threat is successfully stopped. The moment I settle in, I zoom the scope and sweep the forest line. Movement. The herd is on the move. Sharp blasts echo again and again. The boars scatter in every direction, fleeing deeper into the hillside. The fastest scramble straight up the rock face. Thick brush and rough terrain make the pursuit even harder, but we are determined to keep tracking them to the very end. Even after stopping as many as possible, you can see it for yourself, some still escaped. This hunt through bone-deep cold drains every ounce of strength, but the safety of the community remains the highest order.
Take a look at the scene behind me. It looks more like a battlefield than a cornfield. Every fallen tree represents the sweat and tears of farmers who have worked hard on this land. We cannot accept the destruction of their labor, especially when it happens in just one night. That's why today, we've decided to take action. To cover as much ground as possible, we split into two teams. Leon and I will take the higher ground on the hill, supported by my iPhone 17 to track the map. Meanwhile, Tim and Blake will head deeper into the dense forest next to us. The rules are simple. The team that shoots fewer boars will have to handle the entire bounty and prepare dinner for everyone. The engine of the Land Rover Defender is already hot. Let's go! We're currently standing at a high vantage point on the hill. Early morning is the golden hour for hunters, as it's when wild boars leave their hiding places to forage for the last time. My iPhone 17 just received an alert. There's a target moving toward us, about 200 meters away. I immediately take my position, ready as I see the dark shape appear in the distance. I refuse to lose sight of the target. Just as I'm about to squeeze the trigger again, I see it fall, motionless. It seems that luck is on our side right from the start. We continue driving the Land Rover Defender up a steeper hill to look for a new target. From up here, I spot a wild boar moving slowly through the dense bushes below. In situations like this, the most important lesson is patience. I must wait until it fully emerges from the brush. This is the moment. With all my experience and the fastest reflexes, I fire. We are determined not to let these wild boars destroy any more of the crops. The feeling of a successful plan is truly exhilarating. The sun is higher now, and based on my experience, the wild boars will start heading back to the dense thickets to take shelter. So, Leon and I decide to change tactics and set up an ambush right behind the shrubs on the hill. We've studied their movements carefully and know their habits well. Gotcha! Everything goes exactly as we've calculated. And please note, all our hunting activities comply with the strictest regulations of US law. Our victory didn't last long, as the next challenge came quickly. From our position on the hill, we spotted not just one boar, but an entire herd making its way toward us. If this herd gets through, the damage to the crops will be catastrophic. We must act immediately. Gunshots echoed through the valley. successfully halting their advance and protecting the farming area behind us. While my team was busy on the hill, deep in the forest, Tim and Blake were facing an equally intense situation. The dense trees severely limited visibility. Blake reported over the radio that a boar had suddenly appeared right in front of him. In that split second, Blake reacted with incredible speed. It was a truly professional and decisive shot. If you agree that this was an amazing shot, give us a like. The rapid barking of the hunting dogs led Blake deeper into the forest. Here, the dogs successfully cornered a massive lead boar, weighing hundreds of pounds. The beast fiercely threw the dogs aside. Oh no! The situation was getting extremely dangerous. Blake knew he couldn't hesitate. Not only did he protect the crops, but he also saved his four-legged companions. Meanwhile, at the edge of the forest, Tim had chosen a clear spot for an ambush. The silence didn't last long, as the sound of barking from deep within the forest signaled that the target was charging right toward him. He couldn't let it escape. The wild boar was taken down right in its tracks. There's no better way to wrap up today's mission to protect the crops. Winning or losing isn't really what matters here. The most important thing is that we've secured the peace for the cornfields. However, the rules still stand. Tim and Blake, get ready to cook dinner. Before the sun fully rose over the eastern US, the feral hogs were already moving, wreaking havoc across the fields. For professional hunters like us, this is the moment to step out, facing the raw challenge and provocation of these wild beasts. Every move is more than a hunt. It's a battle of wits against instinct, survival, and sheer force. After 3 days of tracking and observation, I had learned the habits and movement patterns of this group. Today, my team and I decided to test whether our skills and instincts had dulled. Less than a minute of waiting, the shadow finally appeared. As if expecting it, there was no surprise, only admiration for the skill and experience required to face such sudden, destructive threats. The first clear victory was quickly followed by more hogs still hiding. In open terrain like this, everything comes into view fast. From the edges of the field, herds and lone hogs began pushing forward. I couldn't stop them all alone. But no worries, they were heading straight for John's kill point. True to form, John controlled the situation flawlessly. The impending threat about to flood the field was neutralized by the skill and experience of one expert hunter. Our defensive line was deployed perfectly. From the field's edges to deep inside, my teammates lay in ambush, ready to strike any target that appeared. The battle lasted only a few hours, but the results sent a clear warning. Any intruder would think twice before crossing these fields again. On the western edges of the field, a few of us held position. Silence descended, but vigilance never wavered. Then, a sudden bark tore through the quiet. This hog had to weigh over 200 kilograms. You can imagine what it could do with those tusks if we hadn't reacted in time. Like and share to give our team motivation to bring you even more intense and high-quality hunting footage. At the decisive moment, John's refined technique and steel nerves shone. Every shot he took was not only perfectly accurate, but eliminated threats before they could even form. Even the craftiest phantoms in this field couldn't act without John's command. This wall of control was proof of his authority, composure, and lethal precision.